Welcome back, I'm Rachel Hopkins and I'm joined by world-famous concert pianist Adam Gyorgy. Adam, thank you so much for coming in. Very exciting to have you here. Now, I know that you've just travelled to Swansea yesterday. You arrived?
I did. We finished a US tour recently, starting at Miami's New World Center, then Cleveland Severance Hall, Boston Faneuil Hall, and then finishing in Carnegie Hall. And we just got in last night. Yep. And
now Swansea.
Yeah, and
you've been to Swansea before, haven't you?
I haven't.
Oh, you haven't? Sorry.
I've been to Cardiff. I watched the Champions League final this year.
So you're a football fan as well?
I am a football fan. Yes.
Yeah. So in Swansea, now you're here to do a performance at 3 o'clock this afternoon, is that right?
Yes, so the first performance is today at the Heist. Today we have a global live television broadcast from the Heist. It's an hour and a half conversation, interview, a master class with a beautiful Steinway from Coach House Pianos. It's a beautiful Model B for live performance, so I'm excited about it.
Yeah. So this is a little warm-up interview, really, before you go on to that. Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So you've no time to see Swansea when you're here. You're just busy all the time, but you were saying how passionate you are, and you've been playing the piano your whole life. First lesson at 4, is that right?
It was when I was 4. My dad inspired me. I was back at home, and he, he's an engineer himself, but he plays the piano beautifully. Yeah. So he comes home, he plays, put on the Beatles vinyls, and he played the songs by ear, and he, he was the one who inspired me to sit down and start.
So how old were you when you actually started playing the piano?
I was 4, and then I took lessons, and classical music always was my passion, but at the same time, I improvise. And I think this carries on with my art as well. And when I play in Carnegie Hall, the first half of the concert is always improvisation, and then the second half blends into classical repertoire. So it's a very unique journey.
And to improvise is a huge skill in itself, isn't it? To do it and do it well.
I think improvisation used to be in the classical routines 150 years ago. Liszt himself was an incredible pop star and a great person who improvised a lot on his concerts. And I think this needs to be brought back to the classical music scene, because improvisation is a great way to express yourself, to talk about yourself, to help to connect with people, and to help people to realize something about their own selves and solve their own problems, and that's improvisation is a great tool for that. It's a beautiful tool.
So Adam, you said your dad inspired you. You started playing at 4. How old were you when you realised that this was something you wanted to do to this level for the rest of your life?
I always wanted to do this, to play the piano. And the other very important thing is that when you're on tour, you have to love it. You have to love every aspect of it, every element of it. You have to love, yesterday to drive down here, get to know new people. You guys here are amazing, incredible. At the Heist, just great energy. Mal Pope was there to get ready for the interview. So great personalities, and it is a lifestyle. It's performing, practicing, and you have to enjoy the journey. When you practice, you get better every day. You become to be a better artist, a better pianist, a better person every day. So you have to embrace the journey and get on with that, and that's the most important thing. And
are you very critical of your own work?
I am.
Yeah. That must be very stressful to be critical, to do it at the level that you do, and to sometimes sort of be frustrated with it.
All the time, be frustrated with it. Not just sometimes. It's a crazy journey, but I have a few critical people around me too, which helps. To be grounded and to keep it sane, and those people come in and help me to be better. And I think it's very important, because as a musician, as an artist, you lose many times you lose control on your own music, because you're in it. You're inside, and you create, and you play, and then you don't hear yourself from outside. So what I do is I record a lot, hear back, and that's a great feedback. And then I have some people around me who are very genuine and honest about the feedback. So I enjoy that because everybody needs that.
And of course, you know, music evokes such emotions, doesn't it? You know, I mean, I can put a song on and it can just make me cry, even though I'm in a perfectly good mood. And likewise, I can put music on and be really quite unhappy and then feel happy because it's so good. You must go through so many emotions with the music that you play. Is that sometimes tough to sort of, you know, put yourself in a good mood if you've been playing something particularly evocative?
It is tough, but also that's the beauty of it. You know, I play very differently than 5 years ago, or 10 years ago, or 15 years ago, even last year. I play differently because I have different life experiences. And arts, I always talk to my students. I run an academy in Hungary for 10 years now. It's 10th anniversary. We have students from Juilliard, from Royal Academy, Royal College, and US from Singapore, big names. So we have incredible students. And the thing what I tell them is that they need to have their own journey. You know, they need to, their technical and emotional development comes like this. You know, sometimes they're a better pianist, maybe less to express, and they matured and they don't have the tool set yet to express what they have to say. It's an incredible journey. Yeah,
and of course technically very, very important, but I would imagine with something so creative, if somebody's just too technical, they may not put the emotions behind it and then lose perhaps the X factor, if you like.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's a balance, you know, life is all about balance. And
we've got some lovely photos of you. So just sort of, as they come up, just sort of speak us through them and let us know what they're about. Where are you here? That looks amazing.
This is in New York's Carnegie Hall, one of my most favorite venues to perform at. You see my brother on the right side.
Does he play as well?
You know, he's a great, he's an economist, chief economist in Hungary, and he's an excellent guitar player, singer-songwriter. As an economist, is quite incredible. And this is a particular concert.
Family,
he's talented. This is a particular concert when I was exactly 30-year-old. It was on my birthday. I celebrated with almost 3,000 people at Carnegie Hall in 2012. It was a beautiful, beautiful night. It came out on a CD. Later on, it was released in 2015 or 2016. That was the premiere of my own composition called A Day in New York. This is a very genuine composition from, this is my brother as well, you can see. We were taking a look at the empty hall in the morning at the rehearsal, and we were expecting a lot of people coming in, and it's a very happy moment. I love this guy. You know?
You look a very close family, and how does it feel stood there looking out knowing that that's going to be filled later? You must be excited, really.
It's probably the most exciting moments at an artist's life, you know, when you're there.
A little bit scary?
It's a little bit scary, but you know, I played in Carnegie Hall many times as of today, and I just recently, a month ago, the last time, and I love to be back because it's a very unique place where you meet history. You know, you create history, but you meet history too. You know, Horowitz, Rubinstein, and Richter, the great ones were there and performing before you, and that puts a little bit of pressure too.
Who are the greats that inspire you the most, or your favourites, if you like?
I wrote my doctorate dissertation about Horowitz, Vladimir Horowitz, and he was at his own time. You know, in 1926 he played his debut in Carnegie Hall, and he played an incredible Tchaikovsky concerto, and his career was phenomenal. But I think the very important thing for a young artist as well, to find your own way. Today is a different world, you know. At the time of social media, we connect to each other differently. It's not a pyramid anymore. It's not an agency handling the artist. It's really how you can build your own audience and how you can reach out to your own people.
Some people, though, can sort of reach so many audiences, they become famous overnight. That must be almost too much for them to deal with. Perhaps that pyramid of building it is better, do you think?
I think overnight success comes after 10 years of work.
Yes,
it doesn't actually happen. So what seems overnight success from outside, it's an incredible amount and quality of work in the background. So I really believe in long journeys, and I believe in taking that journey and embracing that journey and just working so hard.
You mentioned your brother, also a talented guitar player, and you play the guitar as well, don't you?
I do a little bit, mostly to my friends, and I think that's the good way to put it, because it's not concert safe.
No, I'm sure you're still much better than the majority of people anyway, and just being very critical, but a very musical family that you come from then.
Yes, yes, my dad, again, you know, he's an amateur musician, but with great ears. He's been developing an incredible sound system himself for the past 7 years, and he's a great, probably the best feedback. And
you're also a sports fan. You were mentioning how you did play football, but these days your work as a concert pianist just, you know, takes precedence. Yes.
Yes, but exercise still is very important to me, and I work out. I have, you know, I have a bike in Singapore. When I land there, I just grab it and cycle for a little bit. And I have a bike in New York. I live in New York now. Yeah. And when I go back to Hungary, I still have a bike there. So I cycle everywhere. I run. I try to eat well, you know, sleep well. Don't drink alcohol. Don't smoke. You know, keep it sane.
And that's important for a performer of any type, isn't it?
It is important because at that moment when you walk on stage, no matter what you do, it's you know, I have a great team, good management, good people to help me. But when you walk on stage, it's yourself. You know, you're there.
And you'll be at the Heist this afternoon in Swansea.
3 p.m.
Oh well, we do hope you come back to Swansea and come and see us again. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Good luck with everything. And we'll be back after the break to talk more music with the Forces sweetheart Kirsten Orsborn. We'll see you all then. Welcome back, I'm Rachel Hopkins and I'm joined by our Forces sweetheart Kirsten Orsborn and also Rob Nichols from SAMA. Thank you both for coming in.
Thank you, so it's lovely to catch up.
I was just going to say lovely to see you again, and you brought somebody with you today. Rob from SAMA, explain how you both know one another.
Well, we basically met up and Kirsten was interested in the charity work that I'm involved in with SAMA Wales, which is a charity that helps Falklands veterans. Right. Being a Falklands veteran myself, so I'm the chairman of SAMA Wales, have been for a number of years. And basically we got together and Kirsten wanted to sing at some events and help us to raise some funds, and now is hopefully going back down to the Falklands to link up the children of Wales and Port Talbot really with the children of the Falkland Islands and Port Stanley.
You sound very exciting. Get rid of me now after
yes. But very important work, isn't it? Because you know we're always being told how our veterans aren't being looked after properly. And it's a big problem, isn't it?
Yeah. It is a big problem. I mean, there's a lot of charities out there. I mean, obviously that's the voluntary side of it, where I work with SAMA Wales, and then I'm employed with Care After Combat, and I'm the regional manager for Care After Combat in Wales. So I have a lot of work on at the moment with veterans in the justice system. So yes, there's a lot of need out there for the veterans, and especially at this time of year.
Yeah, definitely. Do you find it helps you to help others?
Yes,
you said that you come from the Falklands.
Yeah, it does. I mean, when you're working with the veterans, it's nice to give something back for them. It's nice to help them. We can signpost them on to various agencies and see them get the help that they need and to move forward in their lives.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've been singing for SAMA and everything?
Yeah, throughout this year, obviously, it is the 35-year anniversary of the Falklands conflict. So there's been lots of different events going on throughout the year. So I've been heavily involved. I've become an ambassador for SAMA Wales.
Congratulations on that, because that's quite recent, isn't it?
Yes.
Today you found out?
Yeah, today I found out.
So
today,
just before our AGM, we had a word with the trustees and we decided that it was the way forward. So Kirsten's now on board.
That must be brilliant to have somebody like Kirsten. Brilliant. I mean, you work so hard, don't you?
Yeah,
and
I try my best. It's nice to be able to help somebody as well as when I'm doing what I love.
Yes.
You know, it's really important to me, especially the forces. So, and I'm really looking forward to going to the Falklands next year. The trip is still being organised, and there's so much involved. We're hoping to get a team on board to document the whole trip, and then we're going to send it out as a DVD to all of the children in Port Talbot, in the Falklands, everywhere, just so that they can have a better understanding of the Falklands conflict. Yes. I mean, I didn't know much about it myself, and I'm still learning. So it's really important that the children can learn more about it and have a better understanding of the forces.
Absolutely. But you do a lot with them, the forces, across the board, don't you?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. And just remind me how you got into it.
Well, I've been singing since I was very young, and I was invited to the Armed Forces Day in Sunderland when I was about 13, and I completely fell in love with the experience, meeting people, hearing stories, and that feeling of I wasn't just singing for me, I was helping others, and I loved that feeling. So I've continued to do so, and then they adopted me as the Royal Marines Forces Sweetheart in 2014, which was the best thing ever. And
really it's gone from strength to strength, hasn't it? Yes. And you've got an event coming up, haven't you, Rob?
Yeah, we've got a number of events coming up. I mean, it's been a busy year, as Kirsten was saying. It's the 35th anniversary. And we've had lots and lots coming up. You sang at the Rock for us.
I did in Cardiff.
We basically had the flag raising outside County Hall in Swansea. We had Liberation Day then on the 14th of June in St Mary's Church in Swansea. We had the bikers trying to raise money for us at the Rock again.
200
that went on.
More
bikers. There's been loads.
And the money that's raised, how does that go on to help the veterans then?
Well, the veterans that are in need for SAMA Wales, I mean, basically we tried to help them. I mean, some of them need loans for various bits and pieces. Some of them need help, need equipment. Trips back down to the Falklands always good, so that the lads can go back down and put their ghosts to bed, basically. So that's what we try to organise and help them and give them some support with some financial support. And most of the groups that have been down have benefited from that. So Kirsten will be hopefully going down later next year and linking up with a few veterans down there and hopefully taking a few back with her, as well as the children and the islanders. The islanders are always happy to see everybody.
It'd be nice to chat to them and see what life is like on the island, what it was like before. For the families, you know, people don't really think a lot about the families that are suffering behind the scenes as well as the serving. So it'll be nice to chat to them when I go out there and find out more about the Falklands, really.
Yeah. And I think you're right. I don't think people sort of are aware of our links to the Falklands. It's sort of, you know, been forgotten, but of course, luckily people like yourself are making sure that's not the case. We've got some photos, Kirsten. Speak us through them when they come back.
Wow.
Oh, that's a nice photo.
It is.
I think that is
in Swansea.
Swansea at St Mary's.
Yes, that's right. There was. Oh, that was yesterday. That was yesterday at the dress agency in Neath.
That's your princess pose, wasn't it?
Did a little bit of, I've been called a princess after that one. Supporting the dress agency in Neath. They're supported by Snap Cymru charity, and I did a little bit of modelling for them.
So this is a charity shop, right?
It is, yes.
Yeah. So but not a charity shop like we used to think of charity shops.
No, you can take in a dress and they will sell it at the store, and the funds raised will go straight to Snap Cymru charity. And I actually ended up coming away with that dress because I'm wearing it today.
Yes. Yeah.
So not only did I model, I couldn't resist. I ended up buying something myself.
Kirsten, I don't think any woman would be able to go in there without coming out with something, you know. Wow, look at that.
Some gorgeous dresses for pageants, for weddings, all different occasions. And sometimes they're right under your nose and you don't know that they're there. Yeah. There's a big event going on in the Castle Hotel in Neath next year, which is the 9th of February. Yeah. I do believe there are some tickets still available, £25 a ticket. But there'll be a fashion show, I'll be performing, and I'll probably be wearing one of their dresses.
Oh, well, you know, hard job, I suppose, but somebody's going to do it, isn't it? You know.
Can't say no.
Last time you came on, you were just releasing your album. How's that been going?
It's been really good. And I've had a lot of support from the charity, from Sama and Care to Combat. And there's been lots of fundraising going on. And it's nice to get feedback. You know, I've had lots of feedback from people who have waited a long time for an album to come out of mine, which is so nice to have. So I love hearing feedback. It always gives me that little push to know what to do next and what my followers are enjoying. So hopefully everyone's enjoying it as much as I enjoyed recording it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I heard some of it. I was lucky to before, and it's absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
But you know, you've got to know so many people yourself, and Rob. You've got to know each other now.
Definitely.
You work on these projects. You must almost become like family, and that must be so important to the veterans and people.
It is, and the family's growing. I mean, because there's more veterans finding out about us. I mean, Remembrance Sunday, we appeared at Neath this year. We did the service in Neath, and then we went back to the Bear. Some of our friends support us. They've taken over the Bear, and they support us there. They put various events on for us there. Kirsten appeared, and everybody was pleased to see you, and obviously looking forward to Kirsten coming back again for another appearance over Christmas, hopefully sometime.
We always talk about all the events and everything. It's all very positive, but of course, you know, these are important because of things that aren't so positive. Can you give us an example of you know, some of the incidents and issues that you know, are needed, awareness is needed, and money to help support?
Well, mental health is always a big issue. I mean, with the military.
Christmas time coming up, is that a difficult time?
Remembrance Sunday as well. I mean, people remember the veterans then, and the veterans also remember on Remembrance Sunday things that have happened to them in the past. So it's a bit of give and take really on Remembrance Day for veterans.
A lot of veterans end up on the streets, and throughout Christmas it's a terrible time to be on the streets. So there's lots of different homeless. There's actually centres that are opening to just give coffee, to give anything that you can, and I'll be going to one to pop in and give hats, gloves, anything that you've got that just to support the homeless in any way that you can.
So where's that?
There's a centre in Swansea.
And you'll be there.
I'll be there. I can't remember the exact date. Everything's getting muddled up.
Yes.
I will post it on my Facebook, and if anybody can come along, just please come along and support, because they really need the help.
Yeah, and there's a Christmas dinner as well in the Brangwyn Hall for the homeless. You're helping out on that one as well,
there is,
and there's obviously going to be a few veterans there, so we'll keep an eye out for them and signpost them on to get assistance really that they need.
And even Kirsten Orsborn is your Facebook page, isn't it?
Kirsten Orsborn. Yeah, you can find me on there, message me, and I can give more details and information. Yes, but just anybody you see on the streets, just give them a little helping hand, even just a chat.
And get them to sort of go to the places and they get a nice warm woolly hat.
They may not know about it.
I think, you know, it is a problem in Swansea, and the more people that are helping these issues, the better, isn't it?
Yes.
And it's heartwarming to see so many people.
And Christmas is a nice time, and it brings us all together as well, isn't it?
Yes, and we need to make sure it's a nice time for everybody, shouldn't we? Yes.
Definitely.
Well, I hope to see you before, but if not, very Merry Christmas. But do come along soon. It's lovely to see you both.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you to all our guests for joining us today, and thank you to everybody at home and online for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow, so we'll see you all then. Bye for now.